Hi, and welcome to Smart Tips with Constable Rick, your guide to being respectful, responsible, and safe. Now you might be wondering why there's a photo of Sergeant Short behind me. We're using a photo because we don't know where Sergeant Short is, and he was supposed to help me teach you some important tips about strangers. I'm Constable Rick, and in this episode we'll learn about how to know if someone is a stranger. We'll also learn what to do and how to stay safe when approached by a stranger. But first, take a look at this clip.
Hey, it looks like you missed your bus. You need a ride?
No, thank you.
Are you sure? It's a long way home.
But I don't know you.
Well, you know I know your friend's dad, so it is okay. Come on, ride with me.
Okay.
This child has not been seen since then. Unfortunately, children go missing like this every year. This is why it's so important for you to stay safe when it comes to strangers. Here are 2 simple tips that will keep you safe. Tip number 1, determine if a person is a stranger. And tip number 2, stay safe if a stranger approaches you. To help us understand these 2 steps, we have the Ottawa Police Service joining us. What can you tell us about these 2 steps, officer?
Hi, Constable Rick, and thank you for letting me speak about stranger safety. My name is Constable Amy, and I'm going to take a closer look at each of your 2 steps. The first one is determine if a person is a stranger. This one's a bit tricky. How do you know if someone is a stranger? Is your neighbor a stranger? Even if you see someone often, they can still be a stranger. Is the cashier at your grocery store a stranger? How do you know if someone is a stranger? Well, here's a good rule of thumb. If you're not sure, ask your parents. But in case you are wondering, a stranger is someone you don't know well. The people you do know well are family, friends, your teachers. But people you don't know well are strangers. Maybe your neighbor is a stranger. You see him every now and then cutting the lawn or shoveling the driveway. Do you know his name? If not, then he sounds like a stranger to me. What if your neighbor is good friends with your parents? They've had dinner at your place, and you've had sleepovers at their place with your friends. Is that neighbor a stranger? It sounds more like he's a friend and not a stranger. Just remember, a stranger is someone you don't know well. And if you're ever not sure, just ask your parent or guardian. Someone stops being a stranger only when your parents tell you they are no longer strangers. Next step. What happens if somebody is a stranger and that person approaches you? What should you do? Just because the person is a stranger, that doesn't mean that you're in danger, but it does mean that you have to do 2 very important things. First, keep a safe distance away from the stranger. 2 steps away is not bad. And second, never go with a stranger. Anytime that you're approached by a stranger, you should speak to your parents about it. If you're ever lost or alone and you need help, don't ever go with a stranger. Instead, here's what you can do. Stay in a public place. If you're in a public place with people all around, you're usually not in danger. Don't let a stranger lead you away from a public place. Look for a shop or a restaurant or a business like a movie theater or a hotel, or any business that's open. If you find one, the shop owner is usually a safe stranger to ask for help. Also, look for a person in a uniform, like a police officer, or a fireman, or a paramedic, or a security officer. Those are all usually safe strangers. Also, look for families with children. Families are usually safe strangers. If none of these tips work and you feel unsafe, then you should find a phone and call 911. For more about calling 911, watch Constable Rick's video on when to dial 911.
Well, those are all really good tips, Constable Amy. Thank you for sharing them. Let's review some of these tips now to see what we've learned. I'm going to run a few clips that show you some situations with strangers. And then I'll talk about what is the best thing to do in that situation. This person is a neighbor. Would you consider him a stranger? Remember, a stranger is someone that you don't know well. Even if you see someone often, they can still be a stranger.
Come here, Spot. Hey, you know what my dog looks like, right?
In this case, the neighbor doesn't even know the boy's name, so it's best to consider him a stranger. Let's see how the boy handles it.
Yeah?
Can you help me look for him?
I'll ask my mom first.
Spot!
Hi, Mom. Can I go help the neighbor find his dog?
Which neighbor?
The neighbor with the blue van.
Yeah, sure. Have fun.
Okay, thank you.
Now this is the right way to handle it. You always have to decide if a person is a stranger. If you're ever unsure, check with your parents. Let's look at another one.
Hey, it looks like you missed your bus. Do you need a ride?
This adult seems to be trying to help the child. If this is you, what should you do in this situation? Let's see what happens.
My car's right there.
No, thank you.
You sure?
No, thank you.
Come on, it's right there.
Mr. Wilson, there's a person, there's a stranger in the parking lot that tried to give me a ride.
Really? Well, I'm glad you told me. You did the right thing. Come to my office and I'll take all the information I can from you, okay?
Okay.
Anytime that you're approached by a stranger, you should speak to your parents or a teacher or the principal. You should never, ever go with a stranger. Okay, one more scenario. Roll tape. If a stranger approaches you like this, how should you respond? Let's watch.
Yeah, you want to go for a walk?
That's the way to handle it. Always stay a safe distance away if a stranger approaches you or talks to you. So let's go back to the clip that we saw earlier to see what the young boy did wrong. Roll clip.
Stop! 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 Stop!
Hey, it looks like you missed your bus. Do you need a ride?
No, thank you.
Are you sure? It's a long way home.
But I don't know
Okay,
you.
freeze here. Remember, a stranger is someone you don't know well. It doesn't look like the boy knows this adult, so this is where he needs to be careful. Let's see some more.
But I don't know you.
Well, you know I know your friend's dad, so it is
Freeze
okay.
again. Remember, if a stranger approaches you, stay a safe distance away. Here we see that the boy is not staying a safe distance away. If the adult is dangerous, he or she could hurt you, drug you, or push you into their vehicle. In this case, the boy made a mistake by deciding that this person was not a stranger, and he let the stranger come too close. Roll tape.
Okay. Come on, ride with me.
Okay.
Freeze. Remember, never ever go with a stranger. Roll tape. Here we see the young boy made one final mistake. He went with a stranger. Remember, you should never ever go with a stranger. Otherwise, something like this could happen to you. Wait a minute. Back up that tape and play that back. Freeze that. Enlarge the picture. Hey, that's Sergeant Short.
This is Sergeant Short. I'm currently tracking our kidnapped victim. Request assistance immediately. Please respond.
Copy that, Sergeant Short. I'm on my way. Are you okay, Brandon?
Yes, I'm okay.
Good job, Sergeant Short. Because of your police work, we were able to save this child and apprehend the kidnapper.
I might be a sergeant, but it's still my job to keep people safe. But I can't be everywhere. Staying safe is everyone's responsibility.
That's right, Sergeant. If you do your part and follow our tips about strangers, hopefully you will never find yourself in a situation where you need our help. Unfortunately, not all stories end well like this one, so it's better if you avoid getting kidnapped in the first place. Remember, 1, a stranger is someone you don't know well. 2, if a stranger approaches you, stay a safe distance away. And 3, never, ever go with a stranger. Until next time, stay respectful, responsible, and safe.
Let's roll.